Greeting viewers, we are so excited to have as our guest author, performer, and of course artist, Astrea Taylor. Welcome, Astrea.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here.
There seems to be a stigma attached to the dirty dishes in the sink. Artist mentality that if you are not suffering while creating art, it's not art. Can your latest book help dissolve these misconceptions?
Yeah, I think that there is this idea that artists should just throw themselves into their projects and, not shower and take care of bills and things like that. And I think that's really harmful and pretty unrealistic too, because we're promoting this stereotype of abandoning ourselves in a lot of ways and taking care of ourselves. Dishes are always going to be in the sink. That's a never ending chore. But we can have a balance, like a life work art balance where we do the things that we love and we show up for ourselves, take care of ourselves, and really keep going with all this because I think that's what it's all about. There's a lot of magic in finding that balance. And I think my book can help. It asks a lot of those deep questions and it encourages that specific life balance.
In Inspiring Creativity Through Magic, you talk about cultivating the mindset of an artist. Is there a secret or easy way to master the three tenets?
I really think that diving into your art and using the ritual that comes about with creativity, the one that I suggest in the book, having your creative correspondences. I really think that is the secret to just going into that realm and letting yourself be free, losing yourself, turning your phone notifications off. Don't let yourself scroll for a while and really just enjoying the aspects that are there. And then, that's when the creative spirit can come through as well. I think that's when we get the inspiration, is when we lose ourselves into like a ritualistic kind of trance. So, I liken going to create is kind of like, having a ritual to do something. And when we use the ritual format, we can go deeper into our artistic expressions, find those communications and inspirations from the other world, spirits, deities, what have you, and then have some beautiful accomplishments with your art, and keep going with that. It's really so it feeds the soul, in my opinion.
With the section Crafting Your First Draft, you divide this process of tapping into the four elements. What inspired you to do this?
Well, I just noticed that I was doing it. um, a lot of my witchcraft is experiential. And so there was one time when I noticed that the creative spirit was coming through. I was getting that inspiration, that tickly feeling down my head when I was writing. And I just noticed I had a beverage. I had, the water aspect. I had some herbs and a crystal, the earth aspect. I had music in my earbuds going on, and I was using some incense. That's the air. And then I had a candle going, to kind of mirror my own energy that I was outputting. And I was like, I have all four of the elements here. These are my creative correspondences. Okay. And my whole process of getting into the writing zone was ritualistic as well. So I just had to enhance what was already happening to kind of hack it. And that's what I share in the book.
I absolutely agree with that. That
Mhm.
makes complete sense. You speak about using creative correspondences. What exactly are creative correspondences, and what are other ways to help ease one into seeing and using their creative space more productively and more magically, especially as a small apartment dweller?
I used to live in Seattle and I know the small apartment situation. I would have a desk and I would have these crystals that help me write. I would have, my herbs over there as well. And really, it is about maximizing space, and you don't need a lot. So I break them down into the elements, as we discussed before. But really, the general concept is anything that helps you create is your ally. Anything that distracts you is not. So, for instance, if you like to drink a little bit of Red Bull before you do your creative stuff, whatever that is, that's your ally. If it's wine or coffee, that's your ally right there. But I think that you have to think about hydration as well. So water is always a creative correspondence, but we really also have to look at the vessel that's in so that it helps you maintain your focus. So, like if you're writing some fiction about medieval times, then some kind of clay goblet or a metal goblet would be perfect and it could inspire you even more. But if it's in a big gulp or the original can of the Red Bull that it came in, then you could look at it and it could kind of throw you off. So it's all about using things that help you maintain your focus and help you maintain the vibe that you're bringing into you.
You state that we should use competition as friction. How could, say, a painter use this concept and benefit from it?
So I think competition is a little bit underrated because it can light a fire under us. It can inspire us to create even more. It can help us find the energy to keep going. So if you and a friend or a rival are both in the same competition, if you're trying to win an award, or if you're trying to complete a project by a certain time, I like to be inspired by that. I like to think if they can do something that's like this and, is well acclaimed, then maybe you can too. So I hope that I inspire other people as well.
You list a ritual spell using acorns for patience and growth. Could someone start to put together a dance number or routine benefit from this?
Well, yeah, the acorn spell for growth and patience, I think it's so good because it takes so long to get a tree going. Um, and really, I think that it mirrors the artistic practice. So you could look at that with dance. You could look at that and you could use it in dance if you wanted to as well. But really, it kind of is a reflection or a metaphor for your process, like when you're beginning a project or when you're beginning to learn how to do a certain kind of arts. You have to have that patience and you're going to be growing. It may not always be obvious. Like there may be like the leaves could fall off and you could be like, "Oh, I feel like, I'm in a rut or something." But, the more you learn about it, you're still growing in that and you're still developing your ideas and, putting yourself out there or keep, doing whatever it is you do. Just keep trying learning new techniques and things like that and then you like reach a growth spurt. So, I think that, that's something that everyone can use metaphorically, to kind of mirror their whole experience.
We just love the hot chocolate spell you wrote in Llewellyn's Spell a Day Almanac. How can we see ourselves more of a creative being when not actually creating something?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's something that I live with a lot too, because I like to take breaks. I think we all need breaks from whatever we're doing. And, I'm a writer, fire dancer. I do other things as well. But really, I think that when we look at the amount of creative energy that we have decisions on where to put it. I think sometimes if we don't put it anywhere, it can get kind of spirally out of, we can feel like, what am I doing? I need to do something. But really, baking or making food is a creative art. Redesigning your house, whatever, like painting your walls, that's a creative art as well. Fashion is creative. And so is, I think, just being with your friends and dancing at a dance club. So when you're not creating your art, I think it's important to enjoy your life. And you can still identify as an artist because, sometimes, you have to go to sleep. Are you still an artist then? Yes. You have to go to the store and buy some paints or some new reeds for your oboe or whatever. Are you still an artist then? Yes. So keeping that identity with you, even when you're not playing music or writing or dancing or anything, I think that's important because it is who we are. It is who we are when we're active and when we're not so active, when we're taking a break. And then having those rest periods, I think, too, I mean, like the world has natural rest periods. We're about to go into winter right now.
Mhm.
So letting yourself experience those rest periods is natural too. And you're still an artist even when you're taking time off. So I think people are really hard on themselves sometimes, and we really need to be more gentle and accepting and loving with ourselves. That's one way we can do it.
I agree with that. The creative rituals in this book tend to build upon each other as the reader moves forward. Would you advise one to use this book start to finish?
I would advise people to read through the book first and to kind of get an idea of what their creative ritual could be. It kind of the chapters introduce the creative correspondences and move through the creation process into the editing process, or what I'm calling alchemy, and then into the release and finishing, and then what comes next. So I think it's best to read through it and kind of develop your own ideas first, and then refer back to it as you start to use it. It's a great book to read if you're taking a break or if you're stuck, if you're blocked. I've had a lot of people tell me that this book has helped them become unblocked because they found their love for what they do. And, this book asks some of those deep, hard questions like, what do you really want to do? What do you love? Why do you love that? Things like that. So I think that's the best way to use it.
Is there anything else you would like to add or share with us? Are you working on anything upcoming?
I am so glad you asked. I am taking notes on a book right now, but I don't know where if it's going to develop into a whole project. I've had a lot of people ask me about, to do this kind of a project, and we'll see. I think this is the first step for a lot of books, is just me taking down the notes from the creative spirit, saying, "Oh, that would be great in a book. Oh, I could do that meditation," things like that. So I probably have about 30 pages of notes so far, and it's turning out pretty well, but I still don't know if it's going to be a book yet. So we'll see.
Inspiring Creativity Through Magic: How to Ritualize Your Art and Attract the Creative Spirit is available now in all fine booksellers and at llewellyn.com. We hope this segment inspires all the artists out there.
Thank you so much for having me.